Now we're in a place where we have people who want to enter into that homeownership space, right? Want to buy their first home, but the inventory of first-time home buyer product is quite limited.
I'm super excited to be on this 10-minute talk. My guest today is no stranger to someone who I've had the pleasure of chatting with over the years, and she's also no stranger to the HousingWire community, but still happy to introduce her for those who don't know her. I am joined by Tai Christensen. She's the president at Arrive Home, and I'd be remiss not to share, she's also a 2024 Woman of Influence, which is a huge accomplishment. So congratulations on that, and welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. I'm super excited to be here today, and thanks for having me, Brena.
Yeah. The topic that we're jumping into today is one that is particularly important every year, but for this year and this segment, I think there's details that people need a resetting of what does this topic, that topic being affordable housing, look like this year? What is the current state of it? What is the makeup? What does that even mean? Because conversations that I had with different people over the years is that affordable housing can mean so many different things to so many people. So can you zero in to start this conversation? What is the affordable housing part that you're passionate about? What does it mean to you? And what is the current state of it right now in 2025?
So affordable housing is, as you said, kind of a catch-all term. And depending upon who you're speaking with and the demographic that they live in the country, and also how much money they make, that can mean a lot of different things, right? But basically, affordable housing is housing that is available and accessible to median income borrowers, right? The average American in years past has been able to afford a home based on the median income throughout the country, right? A median income throughout the country right now is about $81,000, right? So not great, but not bad. It's actually advanced quite a bit since 2020. That was the last median household study they did. It's gone up about $6,000 in the last 5 years, which is wonderful, except for the fact that housing prices has jumped so substantially. So the average price of housing in 2024 was $420,000 for the median income averaged American household price. Caveat to that is, again, average American income is only $81,000. So if you're just going on broad numbers here, you need about $100,000 to $125,000 a year in order to qualify comfortably and with the best interest rate for that $420,000 home. So therein lies the discrepancy of the affordable housing issue, right? So in the areas of the country where you see higher wages, you think California, Washington, Oregon, New York, New Jersey, you get paid a lot more on those coastal states, right? But the average home price is considerably higher. If you come inwards in the country, the home prices are a lot more affordable, right? You're going to get homes at that $420,000, $375,000 even in some of the middle country states. But the annual income in those states has not increased to the amount where that's affordable and attainable for a lot of people that are not in what's considered to be a move-up home situation. Move-up home means already owned property. I'm going to sell this property, take the equity out, put that down on a new home, and move up into a better home, which would be in this $420,000 price range. If you're a young child or a young student, right? I mean, they're children to me because I'm in my 40s, but if you're a young person starting out, right, you're just done with college, you want to get your first condo or townhouse, you've got student loans, or maybe you've started a new business, those types of loan amounts are typically unattainable for you. Additionally, there's some underwriting issues that you may have as well if you don't have, say, 2 years of bank statements that you've been earning income with this self-employed income, or you've started a new job, things like that. So those types of things do add to the affordability crisis as well. But long story short, depending upon where you are, affordable housing can mean a lot of different things.
Yeah. Well, those stats that you just threw out show so much, because it's one thing, to your point, that like maybe income has gone up, but you have to look at that in conjunction with where does home prices stand right now? Where are you living? There's so many variables that are impacting affordability. What would you say are the biggest challenges or threats that are, on top of just the fact that those variables are at play, what are the biggest challenges and threats currently that affordable housing is facing?
Absolutely. So we all know that during the COVID-19 pandemic, we experienced a lot of displacement, right? Younger people, older people moving across the country, moving inland, moving to different places because they had remote work. While that was wonderful for people that were selling their home in Washington State or California and choosing to move to Utah or Colorado or Oklahoma, they also brought with them their massive amount of equity, right, to these inner states that typically don't see these types of shift in the housing values going up so substantially so quickly. So that kind of started in my opinion, that was the catalyst to where we are now. Secondly, we have an inventory shortage, right? Again, a lot of people used to work on the coast. They're living in condos or townhomes. They're moving inward. They're buying up properties that were single home properties. Now we're in a place where we have people who want to enter into that home ownership space, right? Want to buy their first home, but the inventory of first time home buyer product is quite limited because it's already been snatched up. And there's 80% of Americans that have a rate today that is below 5%. And of that
Wow.
80%, 65% of them have a rate below 3%. So we're not talking about people who are really excited to give up their property right now, right?
Yeah.
Because not only are prices going up, but interest rates have gone up as well. So they're thinking, why would I sell this? I'm never going to get this mortgage rate
Yeah.
again. So they're staying put, right? Additionally, you've got elders in our community that would have
Mhm.
typically maybe sold their homes or moved into a long care facility. But again, with the income, they're not able to afford those downsized condos that they would be getting in the past because they have superseded the amount that they can afford to pay, regardless of the equity amount that they have in their current home in a lot of situations. So for me personally, I would say those were the two things that were really the catalysts to the affordable housing crisis that we're in now.
It's funny looking at our own personal story, and I think each of us at HousingWire have this. I'm sure even within Arrive, you guys have this when you are not only in the industry, but you are a consumer of the industry. And I am one of the people with a below 3% rate that I'm like, yeah, I don't want to give this up. Maybe I wasn't planning for this to be my forever home, but I will be here longer than I anticipated because it is hard to give that
Oh my
up.
gosh, Brena, we built this house we're in right now in 2020. We decided to build this home because the land we
Yeah.
wanted to buy was not available yet. So we were going to build this as a rental and then purchase the lot we wanted to and build our forever home on that. Well, by the time we closed, we signed our purchase contract in February of 2020, closed escrow in August, and everything in that 6 months, the entire housing industry has changed. So let's just say, pretty sure I'm going to get buried in the backyard because I
We are
mean,
not leaving.
we're not, I've got 2.75 interest rate. Like what am I
Yeah.
supposed to? And if I build the dream home I want for the price range I was intending on staying in, I'm going to be building a home that's smaller than the one we're in right now.
Yeah.
That's how much the values have changed. So
Yeah.
there's a lot. It's not just me and you.
Mhm.
I mean, a lot of people at Arrive are in this exact same situation, and a lot of
Yeah.
Americans are in this situation, which again just leads to those inventory challenges that I was talking
Yeah.
about.
It's all such an important, and that's sometimes part of the part that I flag even in this affordable housing conversation that you have. It's the whole picture that you need to look at. It's the people like us 30 somethings who just have kids that don't want to move, and we're not maybe going to move up with that second kid, and how does that trickle down the funnel and to impact everything? What stood out to me about you and about Arrive in what you guys are doing is there's some creative options still out there. I think we've just kind of painted, maybe I wouldn't say a dreary picture, but a picture of like where do we go from here? Like we've been in this for a while since COVID. There's a lot
Mhm.
going on in the economy right now. I know I have a handful of friends who are trying to buy a house and they're like, when is this going to change? So you've seen some and are also helping with some creative, promising solutions. How do we address these challenges?
Yeah, so for sure. I mean, creativity is really going to be the thing that propels us out of this situation we're in. We can't just look to traditional financing options anymore because the people that qualify for those traditional financing options are typically in a home right now, right? So we've got to get creative. So at Arrive, we have created a program called the Earned Equity Program. And this program is marketed towards very specific communities. We market it towards the I-10 community because they cannot qualify for traditional financing, but they are tax-paying citizens that have rights to live in America. Additionally, the other part of our product that we're marketing to consumers is more driven by the non-QM space. So it's a non-QM product, the Earned Equity Program. And so that enables us to market towards self-employed individuals, maybe newly divorced individuals, right? Maybe you have some type of a tax burden, which is not too much for you to maintain your tax payments, but you wouldn't be able to qualify for traditional financing, right? Maybe you're part of the gig economy and your income is very fluid, right? Maybe you just have a lot of cash and you don't have a lot of credit. This is what we built this program for, the consumers that don't fit in that traditional FHA or conventional credit box, but are still credit worthy. In order to qualify these individuals, we've partnered with a company called Form Free. And Form Free has created something that they call a RICKI score. RICKI stands for Residual Index Knowledge Indicator. And so what it does is the consumer gives us access to their bank account. It's actually an app that they get on. They just enter their bank account information. RICKI immediately pulls 2 years worth of bank statements, and within 90 seconds, it analyzes the bank statements and gives us a score of their residual income every month, how much money they have left over. And that's solely based on their bank account balances. It's able to analyze their spending habits, their saving habits, when they have more money or less money. And based on that, we are able to provide them with a pre-approval and a range of a home that they could purchase.
I love that call out because to me, what you just listed are the extra examples that maybe people don't automatically think of when you think of affordable housing. But there's a huge and like various verticals of people who aren't able to buy a home right now. The person who just got divorced, the person who's looking at the gig economy, great examples of someone who it is out of reach, and without these creative, innovative ways that kind of look past the ways we've already done it, are able to get people in home. So we are out of time, which is a bummer. I think there's a lot of great things that you and I could dive into. I've been thankful to continue this conversation over the years with you, and I know we'll have more of them. So thanks for joining me, Tai.
Thanks for having me today, Brena.